What's up, you guys? If you haven't been here before, welcome. Sarah's not here today, but it's okay because I have an interesting story time to tell you that happened to me I think last week. So I'm going to try and tell it now so that I don't forget all the creepy details that happened, because this was a really creepy story and I don't even know. I work at a theater. And, you interact with people every single day. There's customer service. And that day was a pretty decent day. It wasn't too busy, it wasn't too dead. It was like in the middle. And at the time, I was at the podium ripping tickets for people that were coming in to see movies. And if you don't know, where the podium is, it's kind of usually in the middle of the whole lobby when you come in to see a movie. And then there would be the box office off to one side, and then maybe fried foods or concession on the other side. Our place has concession behind the podium, and then the fried foods on the right side. So there was this guy. I was standing at podium. I was the only one just standing there by myself. It wasn't anybody a manager, anybody next to me. And there was this guy, and he looked to be maybe in his late 20s, maybe early 30s. And he stood next to me by podium. And he was just standing there, so I was assuming, oh, maybe he's waiting for a date or a friend, because a lot of people actually do that. And so I didn't really think much of it. And then he started to, talk to me and ask me, oh, so what's new? How's your day? Kind of thing. And I was like, oh, good. Just waiting for my shift to end. It's dragging on. And he just chuckled and stuff. And I was like, oh, he's just doing small talk, like a normal person would probably do while they're waiting for someone. I mean, it's less awkward just standing there. He just started asking these random questions, just very randomly. There was never anything it was a one-sided conversation, kind of. He was just asking the questions and I was just answering, kind of. And it was weird. I started thinking, why is he asking me so many questions? Usually people, when they have a conversation, they say, oh, yeah, I'm just waiting for my friend and this and that. It wasn't like that at all, so I thought it was a little weird, but I was like, maybe it's just me in my head. And then he started asking me, where did I go to school? What college do I go to? And I don't go to college, so I was like, I don't really go to college. And even if I did, it's not like I would tell him. I don't know him. That's weird. And he was like, okay. And then he kept saying, what's new? And I'm like, I just told you. And I started thinking he was trying to flirt with me, but I was like, I don't want to be one of them girls that are oh, I have a boyfriend, get away from me, you know what I mean? So I didn't say anything. I just started distancing myself and looking around and looking down at my little paper with all the information that I need to know on. And people kept coming through, but he just stood there. I'm like, mate, he's just waiting for something. He was asking where, he was like, I like your shoes, where'd you get your shoes? And I'm like, Walmart. They're just plain black, they're not that cute, but they're comfortable, so, whatever. And then he just started getting very low and mumbling, and he kept making this weird look at me, and I'm like, okay. But eventually he was like, okay, well, I'll just see you later. And he walked away, but he went off to the fried section in the lobby and just stood there looking like he was gonna buy something, but he didn't. He just stood there. And then this lady came up and was kind of next to him. And then they started walking in together. And I was like, oh, his date's here. He's finally gonna go see the movie that he came to see. So they walk in together, and he just walks in with her, and I'm like, okay. Time goes on, and I go on my break, and then I come back, and this guy is standing at the podium area again. Like, near it. Like, he wasn't standing at the podium. He was standing near, like, box office where you get your tickets. But it was still weird. Like, why are you in the lobby? And, like, I thought it was really weird because, like, his movie wouldn't have even let out yet. And if it did, like, I started, like, putting two and two together and things just weren't adding up right. It was just weird to me. And I've never had this weird feeling with anybody. And I've worked there almost 2 years. So it was just weird. He noticed me. And the other guy that was at the podium while I was on break went to his break. And I'm like, shit. He's gonna start trying to talk to me again. And I just didn't want him to talk to me. I was just weirded out. Like, really weirded out. So I just stood there, because I kind of didn't have a choice. It was just me and that other person that just went on break. So I'm standing there, and then he comes up, and he's like, oh, what's good? And starts smiling at me again. I'm like, okay. And then he just asked me, like, he was like, what high school did you go to? And I'm like, like, I told him the high school, but it's not like it would really matter, because I'm like 22, like, that's years and years ago. But I'm just like, okay, whatever. But he started asking, like, questions, like, he's trying to get, like, a background knowledge of me and personal information. And that's what really, it's like, what? How? What are these questions you're asking me? I don't get it. So he, just keeps smiling at me. Whenever somebody comes up, he backs up. Like, he's trying to not make it look like we're talking. And then, whenever somebody wasn't there, he would come back up to me and he'd be like, ask me weird questions again. And then this weird question, like this last question that he asked before he finally walked away, really got me, because he was like, he just looked at me and was like, so what time are you off? And I'm like, I don't know when I'm off, because it's whenever they let me leave. Like, wink, wink. Whenever they let me leave, when I'm done doing what I gotta do, that's when I'm allowed to leave. That's what I told him. And he started mumbling something under his breath. And most of the time he was mumbling, but, like, as the conversation went on, he just kept mumbling more and more. I couldn't understand him. And, like, he was just sitting there. And he said that. And when I answered saying, I don't know, he was like, oh. He was like, that's cool. You don't want to tell me when you get off, that's fine. And then he was like, we'll see you later. And then he just walked off. Like, and then he, like, went into a theater. And I'm like, maybe he's going back into his movie? But when I looked down on my paper, there was no movie that was supposed to be in that theater at that time. And that's when I started thinking, like he went, like, halfway into the theater. But I don't know if he shut it and went completely in, or, like, came back out or what. I didn't know. But I know that he was at least peeking in that theater. And, he just started, it just weirded me out. So I went and told a coworker, and they were like, oh, maybe he was just a gentleman that wanted to hit on you. I'm like, no. Like, this guy really weirded me out. And I wanted to call a manager for help, but I didn't want to do it in front of him because I don't like confrontation, and I didn't want to think the worst, but something just gave me that gut feeling where I'm like, something's not right, and if something happened to somebody else, I would feel terrible. So I ended up talking to another manager that came up to box office while I was telling a coworker. I was like, there's just something not right with this guy, and they were like, where did he go, what did he look like, and stuff, and I was like, honestly, I don't know where he went. Like, he went near, like, the left side, I think, yeah, it was the left side of the theater, but he disappeared. Like, I don't know where exactly he went. So they were like, if you see him again, just let us know and we'll get a male manager to handle it. So that's what happened, and he never came back out. I never seen him again after that, fortunately, because that would have been, no. I don't like that. I don't like dealing with situations like that. It's just weird. But it's kind of sad that some of us girls there at the theater have to deal with weirdos like that. But anyways, I think my boyfriend's coming inside, so I'm gonna let you guys go, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry if it was fast and jittery kind of, because like I'm just really tired. I just got off work like an hour ago, but I just wanted to get this story out there because I just feel like nobody should feel uncomfortable and unsafe in a position like that, and if you do, you should tell somebody like right away, because it's not right at all. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it. But thank you for watching if you stayed, and subscribe if you haven't already down below. And until next time, see you later. Bye.